Okay, second attempt again as I started to ramble. I really don't know how to begin this, but I figure this is going to feel weird for a little while I get used to it. So I'm just going to hit the button and ramble and see what ends up coming out of my mouth. None of this is ever going to be edited aside from maybe me starting over and just deleting the first one because I don't have a camera aside from my phone, and I do have a laptop, but I don't have the time nor skills to make videos and then have to edit them and make them look good. So I don't want to let anything be an excuse, as I usually do, to stop me from doing what I want to do. It's not the right day, it's not the right season, the sun isn't in the sky in the right position. Like every excuse possible, I make it for not doing things. So, I think I'm just going to try to keep pushing myself to do this until I get in the habit of doing it. So I'm currently sitting in my bathroom because I cannot find a quiet place to do this. My little one's sleeping, and so I'm close enough to him that I will hear him if he wakes up, and I can go scoop him up, and I'm not bothering, husband on a work call or teenager home trying to do schoolwork. Hopefully my dog doesn't bark at anything, but this is where I have the time and the space. So here I am in my bathroom on my phone, rambling. I am in a flare, so I have inflammatory arthritis. I don't know what kind, but it just falls into the category of unspecified. And I've been really fortunate. I've been kind of able to rein them in a little bit, get a better handle on them. But this is one of the ones that it's out of my hands. I can't fix it. I can't make it better. And so the only thing that I can do right now is just sort of brace myself and hold on. I just had to switch arms. This video is probably going to be really short, which is good because I need to do stuff. I had to just switch hands 2 minutes into holding my phone because my arms hurt so bad. My flare started over the weekend. Unfortunately, it was my daughter's birthday Sunday, but fortunately, I was so lucky that the flare really didn't take hold of me really badly until the weekday started. So Sunday I went into my flare. Saturday into Sunday I went into my flare, and by Monday and Tuesday I was really feeling it. My flares vary in how bad they are. Sometimes my hands and my arms just get sore. Sometimes my hip will be extra achy. Sometimes I just swell up and then it goes back down and nothing happens. And then there are times like this where my hands swell so bad I can't take my ring off, and I can only use certain blankets and wear certain clothes. Like, I realize I'm in the same clothes all the time now because I've developed some weird sensory stuff with clothes. So like this, I prefer shirts with no sleeves. I prefer certain textures to others. I cannot stand any of my dresses because they cling to me and they just make my skin feel like they're gonna crawl. I can't use some of my favorite blankets because the texture isn't right. And so until the flare is over, I've got like one blanket that consistently doesn't bother me. This one I seem to feel from, I want to say from my neck down, but actually it's kind of full body because I've been like, I don't know if my blood pressure's high, but I keep getting randomly just like, I don't know, my head feels weird. Like I'm not like I'm going to pass out or anything, but just kind of like you feel right before migraine comes on, but the migraine never hits. I'm oddly aware of every bone in my body. Oh, I switched hands again. I didn't even realize it. Like last night, I was not able to sleep at one point during the middle of the night because I could feel the tips of my toes. I don't know about you. I've never really given my toes much thought unless I stub them. But like right now, I can feel my toes and I can feel my shins and I can feel my knees. And obviously, you can always feel your body. But like when I say I can feel them, I feel pain. I feel pain from the literal tips of my toes to the top of my head. It's in my lungs, so or like my rib cage, I guess. So when I take a deep breath, like it feels like I can't take a deep breath because as soon as I breathe in, there's this like, if I go past like a shallow to normal breath, like I get this like sharp pain. And so the other day I was at the Y with my husband and I was trying to walk and just be normal. And I felt so out of breath because I could only take shallow breaths. And it was just so bizarre to feel like you can't breathe when you can. And I guess it's one of those things, it has taught me to be really, really self aware, because I've had to realize that, like, no, you can breathe. Like, you can. It feels weird, but you can breathe. You're okay. Or, like, ooh, it feels like my foot's broken, but it's not. It's okay. You can walk on it. And it has absolutely taught me a kind of perseverance that, like, not to sound cheesy, but I never thought I'd be able to have if I didn't live this way. It made me be really, really creative and clever. And please don't bark at that squirrel outside. Sorry, dog. Like, I've learned what to cook when I'm in a flare. I've learned how to do laundry. I've learned how to function at like half capacity at best. And that's one of the reasons why I decided, even though I've been offline for the most part for over a year and a half now, to kind of get back on, because again, even if it's just for myself, to kind of see my progression. But I guess I have that hope that if anyone were to happen to stumble upon anything that I put out there and they were struggling, maybe some of it would be of use. Because I've got 5 kids, and I have a husband who works full time and travels for work at various times of the year, kind of ebbs and flows. And I don't get to stop my life because I go into a flare. So, I have so many tips and I have so many tricks. And realizing the other day and kind of taking some inventory of myself, I realized, like, I'm actually pretty clever, and I have a lot of ways that I manage my life. And I feel like I don't know, it could be helpful. It could be helpful even just for myself to realize that, like, I'm doing okay and I can do this. And, I'm really super determined to get better. Switching hands again. This week marks my last week of normal eating. I'd actually marked my calendar to go start my transition on Monday. Between the fact that we were, celebrating birthday week all week and a few other things, my husband was like, hey, why don't you put a pause on it for a few days? And I'm kind of glad I did. Kind of wish I had just gone for it, because I feel like I have that personality where if I don't just go for it, I don't do it. But I'm going to try to show myself this time around that that's not true, that I can make a decision, alter that decision, do not bark. And, not sticking with the exact plan doesn't mean the plan blows up and never existed to begin with. It's just a speed bump, and we'll do it. So I don't have a set date yet, because I'm avoiding it at this point. I've almost run out of my absolute favorite, most beloved coffee creamer ever. And so I think since that's gone tomorrow morning, that will be the beginning of my phase. Outside of like my coffee and birthday cake last night, I have been trying to kind of stick with what my plan was. I haven't gone and, gorged on a loaf of bread or anything. I don't know. I feel like I've almost developed this weird like aversion to that kind of food, because I know what it's going to do to my body. So this week I am going to start at some point, and I hope it's not too miserable. And I really hope to get my life back. So like this bathroom behind me, I didn't actually mean to set it to the angle it was. I was trying to stick to my blinds, but I accidentally tipped up. This bathroom I started to paint a while ago. It's actually embarrassing to say how long it's been, but I started to paint it. I had a weekend set aside to do it. My little one had some kind of allergic reaction. We don't know if it was to penicillin or what it was, but I put the project down, and then my husband got sick, and then I flared. And then, typical Nicole fashion, when I put something down, I struggle really hardly to pick it up. It had a designated time and space, and that was when it was supposed to happen, and it didn't happen. And so now, my bathroom is partially painted. So I still like the paint, the white, not good job, better than the original color it was. So, that's at least something. If you don't look at it too hard, I think you don't necessarily, no, that's a lie. You realize it needs to be finished, but I'll finish it, or I'll just break down and I'll pay somebody to do it, because that might be a better choice for me at this point in my life. But anyway, so back to the more aesthetically pleasing blinds. I am going to go this week I am going to start the low carb thing this week. I got the blessing from more than one practitioner. Not crazy, just Nicole's full of nonsense. There's stuff to back up that this might help. The very worst case, it doesn't hurt me. And, regardless of how things happen, at least I don't go down without a fight. So I'm going to try. To approach this like it's do or die. And that feels really big and really just overly dramatic. But to some degree, I feel like my life really is dependent on it. And maybe not as in literal life or death, but as in quality of my life. Because, the silver lining of this illness, I appreciate things that most people probably don't. When I can fold towels without pain in my shoulders, when I can take a breath without stabbing pain, when I can do anything that is just normal, I celebrate it. Like, I am truly thankful for when I can cut an apple or do my kid's hair or do anything without pain or even reduced pain. Like, I love to journal. I love to write my thoughts down. And I can't write right now. Like, I can write down like a quick calendar note and that's it. I have to put my pencil down. I really like writing on my blog, but I can't type for that long because my fingers hurt. So it's another one of the reasons that I decided maybe to use this as a medium, because I can still talk when my hand doesn't work. I mean, my hand works, but it just hurts, and it takes away a lot of the joy of it and a lot of the therapeutic benefit when I'm doing it, but I want to cry while I'm doing it. So there's my babble. I have to get ready to go to an appointment. I am in therapy again. I've got a lot to unpack, and there is a whole lot that is linked with people with various things mentally and also suffering from chronic pain. I don't say this lightly. I do have the diagnosis of PTSD, and if you ever pick up the book, The Body Keeps the Score, it is actually really kind of scary, the link between trauma and pain. And so maybe if I can release some of that and work through it and unpack the bag, maybe that'll help my body be in less of a constant state of fight or flight. And maybe if I'm not so revved up all the time for no apparent reason, maybe my body will calm down a little bit too. But, well, if you've listened to this 13 plus minute ramble at this point, thanks for being here. And I'll make another one of these at some point. I'm going to aim for some consistency, even if it's just a little blurb or a little something to get in the habit of doing it, because I stared at that button to hit record for a few too many minutes before I actually did it, because I had no idea what to say. I had no idea how to start it, and I wanted it to sound good, and whatever. I got to give up on perfectionism. Bye.